Hey everyone, welcome to Burn Pilates. Today's class is going to be done using a chair. The one thing I would want you to make sure of is that your chair does not have wheels on it. It is not something that can glide away where you'll lose balance. You want an object for stability. We're going to be using the chair in a couple different ways. I love this because it just is so efficient as an equipment piece. And luckily most hotel rooms and most homes have one. Set up with some water close by and let's get right into a full body flow today using the chair. Setting up, standing where you have the ability to support yourself. The chair's there as an object of support and also in a way to use a little bit of level work with what the chair provides. First, bend your knees, give yourself a roll through your shoulders. We're going to work through the arches of the feet. Start to lift and lower one heel at a time. Bring some intention into your core, ribs over hips. Shoulders are down. And you're feeling, as you push your heel into the floor, a cultivated resistance. Press down as if you've got, I always use this example, especially on YouTube, but 3-inch stiletto, you're pushing the heel to the floor, up and down. Be very, very attentive of your own body and posture. Don't let the ribs flare. Take a full breath in and exhale. Straighten your thighs. Lift and lower your heels together, feeling a lift come right up through your grounding of your 10 toes into the mat. Your weight is over top of your hips, and your knees are long because your muscles are activated in that length. Push your heels down. Balance as you need. Last 4. For 3. Last 2. Finish with 1 more here. Take your heels down and we're going to stretch it out right away. 1 heel back. Make sure that when you bend, you've got your front knee stacked over top of your ankle heel, not your ankle foot. Switching sides. Use the ground as you push your right foot forward. You ignite through your hamstring, and as you press your left heel down, you contract your glute to stretch your hip. Coming all the way up, I want you to give yourself a soft bend in the knees, weight into the left leg, wrap your right leg around towards the base of your chair or somewhere just in a mid-range height. You're in an external rotation here through your right leg. Lengthen your lumbar, feel your rib cage, stay connected over your hips, abs are engaged. Take a full breath in. And exhale, just lightly tilt your hips back. Feel how all of a sudden you've opened up right here through your hamstring. When I say open, as you bring your hips into vertical, your hamstring is right underneath your hip bone. But when you push your tailbone out, it gives you a little bit more in the sense of stretching out and lengthening through that left hamstring. Go for 1 more. Breathing in and exhale. You're going to hold your hips lightly back. Shoulders down, take your right leg up, reach it all the way out into a full arabesque, opening up now through the right hip in the front, contracting through the glute as you bring your leg all the way around. Your body returns back into its support in that vertical. So you're always bringing your ribs in relationship to your hips. We're in vertical, the hips and ribs are stacked underneath your shoulders. And as your hips go back, we want the ribs to follow the alignment so the abs can all of a sudden pull in and up as the glute flexes down to stretch you out and away. Find that connection. Whew. And of course, there's that balance work. Often people ask me, how high should my leg be when I stretch it out? Again, think of the relationship to your hips with your ribs. You don't want to overly arch your lumbar spine in order to get height like this. We're not going into a ballet arabesque. We're going into an allongé, a full stretch, reaching out in opposition. So thinking of opposition, your foot goes out, your upper body goes forward. Ribs pull in, glute squeezes down. This stretches right away through the hips. We're gonna go for a couple more reps here. It always takes a second or so. And when I say second, I feel like that's the abbreviated cool people's term of minute. It's been a minute. It's gonna take a while And maybe, those connections come in faster or sooner for you. It depends. Everyone's different, but it's going to take a while to get into that sense of opposition. You're working against gravity, and it takes a lot more mental focus to create and simulate this feeling where your muscles fully activated in the fullest capacity that they can. Go for a last one here. Stretch all the way out, keeping a soft bend in your left leg. Make sure that your hips are square. Pull your abs in. Don't let the ribs start to flare. Notice if your shoulders are tight and keep them soft. Give yourself a tiny bend in that left leg. Right leg stays long. Stretch, squeeze your left glute. Make sure that right butt's on the whole time. Hips back as you bend. Inhale, exhale, stretch. Push your left heel into the floor. Let that left glute take your whole body down and up. Abs engaged. To add on, if you want some stability, challenging through the arms to have that lift off the chair. Your choice is yours. We're gonna go for a last set of 2. Exhale to lengthen. Last one, ribs staying pulled in. Use your core, use your core. Exhale, stretch. Come all the way up. You should have felt that a ton in the left butt. And again, working opposition sometimes means slowing it down. It means paying closer attention to the subtleties in your body. A lot of times when we see movement, we think of it as directional, up and down, forward or back. I want you to think of the oppositions. If part of the body is pushing down, it's so part of the body can lengthen. If one muscle is flexing, it's so another can extend. Again, these are all the relationships that we're trying to cultivate deeper and deeper into our practice. Setting up for the second side right away. Make sure that you have your knees in a soft, light bend. Shoulders down, ribs over hips. Tailbone is in neutral. Abs are pulled in. Wrap your left leg around. And feel right away where you have your support. Adjust as you need. On your exhale, you're going to take your hips and you're just going to lightly press them back. You're opening up through your hamstring. As your hips go back underneath the ribs, you're in this vertical position. So we're training from the get-go in our activation here, that as the hips go back, you got this sense of opening. Your ribs are following your hips, which means you need to have your abs to engage. Have your hands on top of your abdominal wall. That helps you start to get into the abs. It's not always easy or evident in how it will help the body until you try it. So try a bunch of different things, because if you're like me, I don't just engage my abs naturally. I really have to focus on them. You're gonna stay right here. Take a full breath in. Hips are lightly back and you've got the weight in that right heel. Take your left leg, stretch on out. Make sure that you're opening up through your left hip flexor here as you squeeze and contract that left glute. Right knee stays soft. Hips underneath the ribs, vertical. Exhale, press on out. Now again, challenge your stability as you wish, but don't lose the form or the relationships that you're trying to find and where you're working. As your left leg goes back, your upper body goes forward, you're contracting your glute and you're continuously trying to stretch out through your abdominal wall. So if you just feel the leg is stretched and this is still tight, get that hip to grow further and further away from your ribs. And that is where we train our mental gymnastics, guys. We get into our Jedi training right here. Keep stretching to find more and more length. You can really target that sensation and activation when you think about it. I think about it, I hold, I stretch further like my toes are trying to touch the opposite wall. Take an inhale and exhale. Checking in with your balance always, making sure that the ribs and hips are staying in relationship. The hips go back so the ribs go forward. The abs pull up. That left glute pushes down. That stretches out the hip. Ooh. And it is really that, it pushes down. You start to feel that tension. Exhale, stretch. Deep breath in. We're trying to mobilize and create space through our joints and also create space through our whole body. And that space trains the muscles to extend in contraction and length. Go for a last one here. Breathe in and exhale. Hold that left leg in a full stretch. Activate through your core. You're going to take the right leg, bend and extend your left leg longer without lifting it higher. Trying to get your hips to move away and then stretch on up, taking your body up and down like an elevator. Notice the difference on one side or the other and challenge yourself as you wish with your arms. Last set here of 2. And exhale. Go for a finish of 1 more. And exhale, stretch and smoothly come on up. Use your chair for a stretch and walk it back. Ribs closed in, tailbone stretching on out. Always thinking of increasing a light lower back arch here without pushing your hips behind your heels. Keep your knees soft. Inhale. You're never stretching your joints, so always keep your joints supported in a light bend. And then exhale, unravel, come all the way up. Take your hands behind your back and give yourself a stretch looking forward. If it feels good to have your arms lift up higher, this will stretch a little bit more in the fronts of your shoulders. If you take your hands down and you pull in opposition, you'll get a little bit of an upper back stretch. Make sure your abs are supporting your lumbar spine. Don't overly arch. Coming all the way up tall. From here, you're going to change up the chair positioning and you're going to set up so that you can have the base of the chair facing in towards your mat. We're going to be using space below the chair as a little bit in our work of proprioceptive awareness. So if the chair that you have from home doesn't have that capacity, just eliminate it. You will work with your space all the same. This just creates a little bit more of a mental, almost association with where you want to work in space, just so you have that in mind. We're going to set up right away on our back. Come on down. Taking your feet directly onto the chair, you want to have right away the positioning where your tabletop is easy to find. So if you're not using the chair, your feet will already be up. If you have the chair, make sure that it's more or less your toes that are on the base so that right away, with your arms present in the mat, you can take a full breath in, lifting up and floating where the chair's just underneath you. You're hovered in space. Ribs knitted in, keeping right away a squeeze between the inner thighs. Take your arms and have a pressure where your shoulders can open, where your upper back can connect. Take a full breath in. Keep pressing into the inner thighs. Engage your lower body to get your abs to fully activate. Suction cup your abdominal wall towards your spine. You're gonna take a full breath in. Exhale, stretch your left leg, and then come back. Switch right. Every time you come back, squeeze your knees in tight. Squeeze in tight. Stretch. Stop and center. Find the midline. Arms pressing down. You could have, if you needed, cactus arms, hands on your tailbone, whatever felt best for you today. Pay attention. Always make the choices that are really customized to your body today. Take one more each leg. Whew. Take your toes, and from here, you're gonna take them to the chair if the chair is there. If it's not, pull your knees to your chest. Give yourself a moment to relax. Smoothly glide your hands along the floor. Bring your hands right behind the nape of your neck and holding with your shoulders up off the floor, thoracic curl as an option. Lengthen your neck. Let your chin drop. Feel your hands are extending the back of your neck. From here, taking your legs back to tabletop. Now remember we said underneath the chair, here we go. Extend, left leg goes under, right into that space and hollow that we created. Deep breath in, switch to the right, exhale, reach. Fully extend and control the extension. Don't let your joints catch the movement. Muscles fully articulating the length. Squeeze your knees in center. Exhale, last one, left. Last one, right. Find that reach. Come all the way back into center. And from here, wherever you are, take your knees and shins into your chest and sternum. Give yourself a nice little pull. Lengthen your lumbar spine. Smoothly take a deep breath in and exhale, roll on up. We're gonna set up from here, using the chair as a base for our plank. Again, use what you have that is stable and always come down to the floor if you don't have an object of support that is stable. We're going to take the forearms to the chair, and from here, you want to make sure that your shoulders are stacked over top of your elbows, stretching one leg back at a time. Find your plank with your thighs in external rotation, heels together, toes apart, just a soft, light V. Take a full breath in, start to apply pressure down through your wrists. Exhale. Start to right away attach more energy into your heels, through the backs of your inner thighs, through the hamstrings. Take a full breath in. This is your movement. You're going to bring the right leg in, stop, stack, stretch back. Deep breath in, exhale. So you're finding the ground in each direction, and you're trying to control this movement value through your core in the opposition of the arms pressing down. Your upper back and collarbones are wide. Exhale, stretch. Last one. Each leg. Finish strong in your plank. Hold heels together, toes apart, and stay in the pressure. Don't push your tailbone up. Find your plank. Your upper body is over top of your arms. Spine is long to the lumbar. Shoulder blades are separating nice and wide. Toes are pressing down, heels are glued together. Last set of 4, 3, last set of 2, last one. Softly, smoothly, support yourself as you bring your knees down and give yourself a stretch. If it feels good to use the chair, you can walk your hands into the chair and sit your hips back. You can also take a child's pose or anything at all that feels better for you today. Smoothly unravel, make your way all the way up, and from here, setting up, you're going to take a seat on your chair first. We're going right away into a little bit of arm work. Have your hands supported, either palms facing with the fingers forward or fingers wrapping from side to side. Make sure your fingers are not facing back, as always. We're going to set up right away for 10 tricep dips. Just going into this movement as much as you can with the support of your body. First, safely lift your hips up and off. Walk your feet so that you can see your feet and toes are slightly forward from your knees. Your tailbone releases. You're finding a neutral spine. Press your palms down to the chair, straighten, and feel your shoulders lengthen up and away from your ears. As you bend your arms, you are gliding your spine in neutral. Inhale, work in opposition. As you feel the weight of your body when you bend your elbows, keep pushing your hands down into the chair. Keep suction cupping your abs in towards your spine. Go no lower than where you can keep your spine as much as possible in neutral. And exhale. Last set of 2. Feet grounding. Last one. Deep breath in. And exhale, stretch. Take your hips all the way onto your chair and safely walk on up. We're going to right away switch the focus. Take your hands now onto the base of your chair. From here, extend your left leg all the way up behind you. Give yourself a soft bend through your right leg and feel where your tailbone is lengthening outwards. So what I mean by that is that you're not bending forward with your right leg. You're actually pushing your hips back. You're kind of popping the booty a little bit. The right knee has a softness to it. You're going to extend your left leg up and hover off the floor. When I say hover, I really mean it. Hover. Shoulders up and away from the ears. Lower down and exhale, lift. Now, you're going to take your leg up and hold the lift and lower down as if you're pushing through water. So it's very pressed, then lifted and hold and squeeze. You're trying to get the lower action to attack the abs. You're trying to get the lift action to stretch your left hip all the way up and out. And what we're basically doing is taking any effort out of the front of the quads and bringing it into the glutes and posterior chain, which is all about getting the core strong, that hip support. You're going to take your leg down. Last 2. And exhale. Right knee soft, hips back. Go no higher than where you can control the lift to stay up. You're going to keep your leg long, hips back, and we go flex and stretch. Bring the intention into the arch of the foot and work for that ultimate stretch. Rib cage closed. Come out of slouching if you feel your body collapse. We've got a last set of 4, 3, final set of 2, last one. Softly, smoothly take your leg all the way down to the floor. Give yourself a moment here to come on up. And for the stretch, you're going to take your left foot onto the base of your chair. Lightly bend your right leg. Take your tailbone back and walk your arms wherever feels good to hold the stretch right here as you lengthen. Just see where you can let go. Always stretch safely for yourself. Always feel it out. Don't lock out through that standing right leg. And when you're ready, coming on up. From here, setting up right away, hands back down, second side. Bending your knees first, making sure you have your upper body stacked. Taking your right leg all the way out, light bend into the left leg, push your tailbone back, and feel where right away your hamstring and glute are on. It's so funny. As soon as the weight is forward, the front body will turn on, which is why you're really working that opposition. So again, I said in the first round, little pop of the booty. Now your arms are going to be slightly forward from your shoulders. You're going to take your leg up. First, find stability, and again, don't way forward, way back. Hips are square, abs are pulled in, rib cages knitted together. Lower down like you are trying to move an object, like you are pushing your leg down into a tension band attached to the ceiling, like you are moving through water, like you are moving through molasses. You want to feel the contraction in both directions. And the contraction is going to be abdominally focused. As you lower, glute focus as you lift. Don't swing the leg. Parallel through the hips. Hips back. Left knee is soft. And again, don't go higher just for the sake of your ego. I want you to stop where you feel your movement in full control. Don't swing that right leg. Last one, you're going to take your leg up, take a full breath in, keep the weight in your hips all the way back, feel your left glute work, and as you stretch your right foot through a foot, flex and point. You're going to keep extending, try to space out that right hip bone away from your ribs, contract your glute. Last set of 2, last one, take a full breath in, and exhale, smoothly lower down. Bend your knees first to come to standing and take your right foot onto the chair and hips reaching back. Little bend into that left leg, drop your right hip down. It might feel good to have your right foot flex to help support your stretch, or relax down and play around with your foot positioning. You always want to give yourself a liberty to experiment and feel through those little crevices and what your body's telling you today. Slowly coming all the way up, taking your leg off the chair and just opening up through your chest. Extend your arms wide, take a full breath in, reach to your ceiling, and exhale, extend your arms all the way down to your sides and all the way down to your floor. Guys, embrace this energy that you've created in your body. Breathe into your length. Breathe into all the spaces that you've also created in your body today. Thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate having people like you that believe in me as your teacher and your guide, and that want to give and encourage and support. Thank you so much. Have an awesome morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you at the next burn.